What is up, folks? Welcome back to Ever So Slight. Jorge Anito here. Thanks for stopping by once again. Welcome back. Welcome to episode 3 of Everything Erdnase, a segment where we're devoted to this book right here, Expert at the Card Table. And this episode specifically deals with the top 3 Straddle Pass variations. Now, before you say, wait just a second, Jorge, the Straddle Pass isn't even in Expert at the Card Table. That's true. However, the diagonal palm shift is, and this, for me, like so many other people that I've heard, this was their entry into this style of move. This was their first exposure, was the diagonal palm shift. So that is why I'm featuring it under the Everything Erdnase. Now note, this is just my top 3 favorite variations from some really cool people. But yeah, we'll get into it. Without any further ado, I really don't even know why I say that. Let's get into it. Coming in at number 3, all the way from the UK, from Mr. Darren Brown, of all people. TV, mentalist, famous, Brit. Yeah, he released this in his Devil's Picturebook VHS tape back in the early 90s. I have to check on the exact date. I'll leave that in the description, all the credits. But first, let's talk about the Straddle Pass. When I'm talking about the Straddle Pass, most of you will know, and others may find this a little confusing. It's basically a side still to the bottom or to the top. Every variation I'm sharing today can be applied to either the bottom or the top, right? So, and you remember in Expert at the Card Table what was taught in the form of the diagonal palm shift, where you still the card out into a palm, card to pocket, whatever. So you could see how this is very closely related. So getting back to Darren Brown's move, he does something called Mike's move. And it looks like this. The whole idea is to, as soon as the card is pushed in, to immediately square the sides of the deck. This squaring action is going to be the cover for the actual still. So in the action of rubbing down, that's when the still is taking place out the side. And whenever you rub back to the top, that's when the card is placed on the bottom. Okay, so you're going to push this in at a jog, just like this. You're not going to carry the card down. We're not going to do that. You're going to immediately, once it's pushed down to this position, you're going to still it out with the pinky and the index, and as soon as it's stolen out, you're going to rub your thumb on the sides. In fact, I like to say, we'll push this card in. I'm going to show you that the sides are not, I'm not holding a break, right? So you push it in, do the still, thumb slide, thumb goes back, and it goes into place. One more time, thumb slide back into place, and it goes right on the bottom. Coming in at number 2 from Mr. Daniel Schneider of Black Roses. He released this in 1997 with his book Therapy. Yes, not only is he a playing card designer, he's also a published author. And this was one of the moves featured in his book. It's called the Tailor control. And it looks, yeah, a little something like that. It's really quick. It's really cool. And I can actually concede that this move is actually better than the one that I've placed in the number 1 position. This one is the most superior Straddle Pass that I have encountered, right, because it's so quick. Now, and it all revolves around squeezing the card in order to still it out the side. And whenever you relax the hand, the card goes into place. Don't be disappointed. So anyway, you place the card in, you push it in, and the same with the last one. You're not going to carry this corner down. You're not going to do that. You're going to immediately go into the still. You're going to push the card down. Once it's here, you begin to squeeze. You squeeze with the index and the pinky and just kind of pull out the side, and just in order to place it on the bottom, you just relax your fingers and allow it to fall into place. And coming in at number 1, my favorite Straddle Pass variation, called the Mechanical DPS. Yes, it's a Straddle Pass, but I kind of harken back to the DPS, its origins, and it looks a little something like this. Now, there's quite a bit of finger frolicking, some finger gymnastics taking place here. However, if you do these movements just right, There are some moving parts and some levers and pulleys here, but the cover is here as long as you execute these movements just right. So you're going to push the card in at a diagonal, same thing, and you're going to carry this corner down, but you're not going to do it with the thumb. This stays faithful to the text of Expert at the card table. You're going to use your index finger, right, of this other hand to push the card down. So, and it'll look like this, right? And in fact, the index is going to kind of go right underneath the thumb right here, right? See how the thumb just kind of hops up over it? This isn't really a big discrepancy. You know, I have performed this for people and they never say anything about this right here. If it really just looks like you're placing the card in and just holding the deck, right? So whenever you do this, right, you pull the corner down, you're in this position. The next thing, you're going to use your ring finger to rotate the card out. Then you're going to use your pinky and index to strip this way. And then you're going to place it under the deck. I want to show this at a different angle. So you'll place the card in, push it in, carry it down, ring, pop out, place under. So essentially 5 movements, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do this again really slow. Push it in. The index carries it down. The ring finger of the other hand rotates the card out. The pinky and the index pop it out to the right, kind of flares out to the right, and then it just gets placed right on bottom. So in real time, well, that wasn't very good. And all these movements, you'll think it's quite a few movements to do for one move, but when they all just flow together, I think. And it can be applied to the top as well. So anyway, that is my mechanical DPS. Hey, a million thank yous to everybody who clicked on this video and watched it to the end. Really appreciate you. If you're not subscribed, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe. Do me a solid by hitting the like. Leave a comment. I appreciate all the love and support. Stay tuned. I got a couple routines. Believe that. Imagine that is what I meant to say. Some actual routines on this channel. Yeah, coming up for the spirit of Halloween, we have an effect called the Final Girl coming up, and also the Switching Hour. 2 really cool effects. Original anyway. We'll take a look at those when it gets a little closer to Halloween. Jorge Nito here, ever so slight, signing off.